Hey guys, so I just realized I've been talking to my camera for a couple of minutes and the camera wasn't recording, so I'm gonna say everything all over again because I really want to share this. So I was downtown earlier. I went to university and I was doing like this mentor thing. So I'm like a mentor for foreign students that come here, and I'm helping them like getting to know the campus and like figuring out where the cheap grocery stores are, and if they have any problems or questions, they can like come to me and ask about it. Oh, there's a car. Alrighty. When you're crossing the street. Right, so I was doing this mentor thing, and so I was downtown. And I'm coming home now, and like it was pretty nice. We just walked around campus, and then after that we went like for a small walk around town, went to a coffee place, and then we went to a bar. And hey, there's a dog out here. There's no human, but there is a dog. You can't see anything, it's like too dark. Man, I should have like a light. Yeah, but like there's a dog. Jesus, come on. Oh, it's that person's dog. Pretty good. Hi. Bye. Right. So we were like downtown. We went at this bar and we just like chilled and talked together and stuff. It was nice. And I'm coming home, so I'm taking the bus from downtown. And I get on the bus, and I know, like, because I'm gonna go pretty much the whole way with the bus, that I'm gonna like be there for a while. So I go sit all the way in the back, you know, and they have this like long bench in the back, you know, that covers the whole place. Like you can't walk between the seats. And so I sit there on the right side, and later this woman comes in and she sits on the left side. So I'm like there on the right side and she's on the other side on the left. And this guy walks in and he sits like right in front of her, and she goes to him and she's like, "Hey, excuse me, could I borrow your phone? I need to make a phone call." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem," and hands her his phone. And I'm like, "What? That's so cool!" Like in my mind, I'm like, "Hey," and like not so long ago, I would have not thought anything about it, but it's like not everybody would just lend a stranger their phone, you know? That's like, yeah, seriously. So I was like really happy about this guy, you know, and her, because like, I don't know, I think a lot of people might think she was a little bit weird and would like not lend her their phone or something based on that. Like, I don't know, totally weird. So he did that, and then she dialed in the number and she tried to and she tried to make the phone call, but there was no sound coming from the phone. So she tells the guy, "Hey, excuse me, I'm having some trouble like making the phone call. Like there's no sound on the phone. Can you help me out?" And the guy's like, "Sure, no problem. Let's work it out together." And they start working it out together. And I'm like, "What? That's so good. Like, are you kidding me? That's awesome." And I don't know if they finished working it out, but I told them, "Hey guys, I really like what you're doing, like working on this problem together, even though you're strangers, like life is teamwork, it's awesome." And then I walk out of the bus, you know, because it was my stop. And I looked into the window and I heard her say like, "What did that guy say?" And the guy tells her, and they're both like smiling a little bit. And I'm like, "Hey, that's so nice." And I got this life is teamwork saying from another woman a couple of weeks ago. I was attending the Youth Time International Summer School, and I was gonna go to like the final evening where we're gonna have like a get together, small party, to say bye to everyone. And so I go like, I have to go home because my tire got flat, you know, every time, and to change my clothes also. So I do that, and I'm at home, and then I really have to hurry because it's the last bus that'll get me to the place where the final meeting is on time. And I run down the hill like crazy, you know. I run as fast as I can. And because it's like downhill, you get extra speed, you know. It's like, oh, and I was like, oh, I was having the speed, you know. It was awesome. And then there's like this one crossroad that you have to cross, and the bus comes down from the side. You can't really see it until it just arrives, and then it turns. And like, I'm almost there, and the bus comes down, and then it takes the right, and I'm like, oh, trying to get it, and oh, the bus leaves, and I miss it, and I'm just standing there like, shit. Oh, what should I do? What should I do? I'm like late now. Oh man, that's like, oh, and I'm standing there for a while. I'm just thinking, like, can I call somebody to give me a ride? I don't know. Because it's like, I don't remember how long it was until the next bus, but it was like either 15 minutes or half an hour. Either way, I was gonna be late. And then this woman pulls up and says, did you miss the bus? Do you need a ride? And I'm like, yeah. And she says, hop in. And I'm like, thanks. I open the door and I hop in, you know. And she's like a total stranger. I have no idea who she is. And then I'm in the car and she's like, okay, which bus are you taking and where are you taking it from? And I'm like, okay, I'm taking this bus. You can drop me off there. If you can, that would be awesome, you know. And because the bus has to stop on the way and it was going to stop for a longer time at like a terminal later, if we would drive there, I would probably catch the bus again. And she drives me over there and she says, yeah, sorry, I saw you earlier running down the street and I saw you miss the bus. But like, I had my friend's dog in the car and I was dropping it off at my friend's place who lives nearby. So I couldn't pick you up. But I dropped the dog off and I just came and checked if you were still there. And I'm like, man, that's like so really, like, I really appreciate it. Like, not everybody would do that. And she says, yeah, you know, life is teamwork. Life is teamwork. And it's like, oh, like it has a ring to it. And like in Icelandic, it also sounds so good. Lífið er samvinna. And you're like, yeah. So, I feel pretty good about that. Oh my God, another example. So one of the mentees, it was not a mentee in my group, it was in another group. And he has this personal rule. Every time he finds a coin or some money outside, like on the street, he picks it up and then he gives it to the first friend he meets. Or like maybe the first person, whatever. And it's not like he's from Hungary, and we asked him if it was like a Hungarian thing, if all Hungarians did this. And he said no, it was just like a personal rule. But wow, that's such a cool rule. And that's also like kind of a life is teamwork. Like if you would take like all the coins that you find on the ground and just give it to the next person that you think needs it the most, you know, that's totally teamwork. Are you kidding me? That's like awesome. So life is teamwork, guys. Thanks for listening to me talk for a long time in the dark, and I'll see you guys later. Felt like sharing. Good night.